Bro.
Or
Bro.
1.5. Or
Bro.
1.5.
Yeah.
I don't hear you if you're talking, David.
Yeah, we don't hear you. Your name isn't even blinking or anything.
Yeah, it might be your splitter again.
I thought you were getting a new splitter.
Yeah, good point. I guess all that money went to twice. The splitter money.
Rip splitter money.
More important things happened. There's silence. There's silence.
Silence is there.
Speaks volumes. Hello. We're just waiting for David to get his shit together.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
There was a thing. There was a sound.
There was a little bit. Wiggle it around more so it's right in that spot again.
Oh.
Hello.
There you are.
Will he stay though?
No.
Of course not.
Okay.
Hello.
I
Hey.
think we're good.
Good. Awesome.
Cool.
You'll have to see it.
I don't have money for a splitter until I get paid, and I don't even know if I'm getting paid next week. So.
Oh yeah, your system is down still.
Yeah.
And it's also like on Christmas, so rip.
Big rip.
Hey, you know what? It's nothing. It's not a RPG session with us if there isn't any technical difficulties.
Yes. True.
But if everybody's here, at least for the moment, we can get started. Does someone want to give me a little bit of a recap? I know it's been a while, but
It has been a hot minute.
yeah, it's been like a month, so
Is it really?
I mean, we skipped last week, so I think so, because
And the
we
week
play
before
every
we
other week.
played. What dang?
Yeah.
We did a bunch of downtime stuff. Let's see. Where's my notes?
All downtime.
Yep.
And my only notes are on Paragon. So that's all I know.
I took notes for my downtime.
Paragon is a squad of revolutionary hackers that break into corporate cloud networks, leak info, and demand compensation. So they took our info and ran. And that's all I
So
have.
we found, or Hana found. Well, Hana was following her rival around and one other person who was like hanging out in the house, and she followed them to one building that was like a Paragon building. And then she followed her rival to another building, which was also
A
a
Paragon
Paragon
building.
building. Or no, it was like a big skyscraper, but there was like one specific floor that was like a Paragon floor or something.
Paragonception.
And then I have notes about Ward doing research on the mechs that we fought. And
Yes.
the main thing there was that all of their weapon systems appeared to be like an homage to stars.
It all follows the theocracy, and they're all star
Stars in
worshippers.
progress. And then we also told Suho about the monster we saw underwater. And then on the news we saw, or yeah, on TV we saw news about Holly's death, and like news about the empty ship. I think that was mostly everything. There was like some like cutting loose stuff that I did not take notes about, but I think like Nyx.
Everyone cut loose with Ward.
Yeah, that was Ward. Yeah, Ward went to a concert, and I think Nyx like wanted to do something with like her mech with Ward or something.
Oh yeah, add organics to it.
Yeah.
So there was some planning. Which could be very interesting.
Could be.
We survived this mission.
Yes. Spoiler alert. We don't.
So yeah, at the end of the downtime, you all decided to follow through with Hana's solo little stealth side mission, and you're gonna try to, or I don't know what exactly you plan to do here, but I have things ready. So
What would have happened if she got caught there?
I don't know. I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants when you started doing that, so I probably would have like made it be like an entanglement or something. But yeah, you're about to. Well, before you guys start like doing any like planning and information gathering, let me just tell you about some things that happened probably towards the back end of your downtime.
Uh-oh.
Just a couple, just some stuff. Actually, before I tell you this, I have one question. How long have all of you been in town?
That's a
Like
good
in
question.
general, like it can be months, years, your whole life.
Whole life, probably.
Okay.
Probably a couple weeks, months.
Okay.
Maybe like 3 years at most, like 2 or 3 years.
Cool.
Yeah, probably a year or so.
All right, good to know. So actually, only Nyx would understand what's going on. Um, about I don't know how long you usually have your downtime take, maybe a week or so, but maybe towards the back end of this, you start to hear information through like news networks and like city-wide news networks that the city and the companies who run the city are planning on having it move to a different place. And this would come into effect by the end of the week. And lo and behold, it did end up happening. None of you have experienced this before except Nyx, because the city moves to a new location every like 4 or 5 years. It's like regular enough that like the people who are like locals have experienced it plenty of times, kind of like an election. But it still takes a lot of people like off guard. So by the end of the week, you start to hear these blaring and echoing city sirens. The sounds bounce off of all of the buildings in town, especially when you're like downtown, and it sounds sort of eerie how it echoes. It's like a tornado sirens in the middle of a city. It's sort of strange to hear. And very soon after those alarms blare, wherever you guys are, no matter what, I think you would feel this earthquake-like shift in the ground, and that signals that the city begins to move on its sort of tank-like treads, these massive long wheels that just slowly but surely have it move across the land. And so, as of right now, it's moving, and because of that, paired with the planet's naturally arid climate, it picks up a lot of dust and sand and sort of creates like a sandstorm that moves along with the city.
Oh man.
So visibility is very low at current. The city is supposed to stop moving within a few days, which may or may not be around the time that you guys decide to do this actual mission or not. But it will only take a couple of days. But this sandstorm does maybe make things a little bit difficult for you, or might be helpful, depending. And then one other thing I think you notice starts to pop up throughout the city while this is happening. In sort of maybe less populated areas, or no, probably not like less populated, less like frequented areas of the city, like not the touristy kind of places, like a sort of Times Square equivalent, maybe something that's more like a smaller neighborhood or something. You start to see advertisements for a very familiar company. They don't show up very often, but you do begin to see that Leap is hiring. Each of these ads that you see every so often, they say very specifically that Leap is hiring individuals of all shapes and sizes to help explore a new, undiscovered frontier riddled with history and progress alike, with a number to call down at the bottom. And yeah, I think you have just noticed those, if you can even see them in the sand that's been the sort of sad haze that the city has been surrounded in. But yeah, that is just
Ward
to
is
set
looking.
the scene a little bit.
Has Ward told us anything about Leap? I don't think so.
Probably not yet, but I think once these ads start cropping up, they might begin to share some things, although I have to refresh myself as to what bleep is.
Yeah. So yeah,
like-
so everybody else leap is just like, oh, I'm not looking at that. Who cares?
Like
It's
the
just
only
an
thing
ad for
Hana
a
knows
place.
is that the gun had leap on the gun.
Yeah, you would probably know that. I feel
But-
like you're probably smart enough to piece together that it's the same logo on the gun and on these advertisements. But to
Then
Nyx and Rio, it's probably just like, well, I'm not looking at that. It's an
but then
advertisement. Who cares?
this information about like an undiscovered frontier is pretty. That might be like a bit of an alarm bell for Hana, maybe.
Maybe so.
Do they mention like where they're exploring?
I said that there was a number underneath the blurb that you could certainly call.
Hmm. Okay.
Like that's fine.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, like Ward, you probably know that the gun says leap on it.
Yeah.
We probably all like took a look at it when we kept it. So if Ward ever wants to speak to us about it.
Yes. I am just
BLHF.
I have some notes on
trying to figure out what I need to how this connects to anything.
Organization company within banking servers.
Oh yeah, banking. Okay.
They move lots of money very far off world to a planet in a different system that's like on the edge of civilization.
So
8-planet system, yellow star.
could this also be connected to Rio's mafia dude?
I don't know if that's the same system. We weren't. I don't think we were given a name for the system that Leap is like
No.
working in.
Very vague.
But
Yeah, I think
Giovanni,
you would.
whatever
Yeah.
is Saboteur's moons.
I think you would know.
Tomahawk.
Yeah, you would know that the guy that works or is said to work for Sentinel, the Akia guy who did all of who killed Holly, was
Yeah,
wielding leap weapons.
he had the gun. So
And the system that you have kind of been pointed to on a couple of occasions does not have a name.
so that might just be the undiscovered frontier, maybe.
Could be.
If they like already have a base there or something. I don't know.
This could be useful for us though.
Yeah.
Depending on how we want to deal with it. Okay, so I guess a day or so after we notice these ads come up, Ward would probably approach Hana first and ask about the gun.
Hana has it like locked away in their base somewhere.
Yes.
She hasn't touched it again.
We've noticed these posters or signs across town, and something about them reminds us of this odd alien summoning space weapon that salvaged from that ship. Could we examine it for a moment?
Sure, yeah. And she's like, yeah, that I saw a few of those as well, and they sort of caught my attention. and she like leads you to like a giant locker or something. Like she like presses like a very complicated like code to unlock it, and she takes the gun out. And then she like points the logo on the gun at you. She's like, "This is the same thing, right?"
It is. Hmm. This is interesting. There may be connections here that, although dangerous, may be useful to us.
This might be like some sort of technology they acquired or created from exploring this frontier that they mentioned in the ad.
Yes.
Maybe this
And
creature's from there as well.
from out there somewhere.
Yeah.
If this has, from what we've um researched, we've stumbled upon some information, data, and Ward will spit out the USB drive that was given to them from the guy at the bar. The other tests, the red one, we encountered not too long ago. They were doing some deals around town, looking for who knows what, but besides drugs, this was included. And Ward will like flail the USB around. There are a lot of things within this that we do not quite comprehend, but one thing is for sure, Loop is a part of it. There's significant amounts of money being moved around in the outer systems. Perhaps if they have something to do with this dangerous weapon, they have all of this money at their disposal. But the red one also seeks assistance, work, help from Loop. Ward starts spawning like all of these other tentacles, like as they keep bringing up all of these points. We are connecting the dots.
Well, getting their hands on this sort of weaponry does not seem like a very good idea for anyone or
Especially
anyone else.
considering how formidable they were.
I don't know. I think Hana sort of stops for a moment. She's like, actually, I don't know if what I'm thinking of is related to any of this, but I've been doing some of my own research for some personal business." And she brings out like a bunch of files. I think just like paper file from like that locker she had the weapon in. She kind of like displays them out in front of you. She's like, I'm actually looking for some people I used to know that I used to sort of like grow up with. And from some of the research I did, I think as far as I can tell, they've been sort of taken to some part of like border space that isn't really known, or like it's sort of been like quarantined off almost from other factions or by all the factions. And she sort of points out like this very specific location at like the very edge of known space. She's like, if I don't know, I don't know if that would be the same thing as this undiscovered frontier that Leap is exploring. I guess we could call Leap to find out, but that doesn't really seem like a great idea if we're like opposing them in any way.
Yes, this could tip them off, and we do not know everything that we need to in order to see the big picture.
Yeah, it's possible that your personal business and my personal business are all tied in with Leap.
Our personal business.
Yes, it's our personal.
What are we?
But yeah, this is certainly worrying information.
This may be our big breakthrough. If everything is, if the red one has ties to Loop, and you're this person who wishes to see you dead has connections to Loop, perhaps this is our big break.
Maybe we'll find something in that security building with Paragon.
This may be something to bring up with the others.
Maybe, yeah. Also, hold on. Is it Leap or Loop?
Leap.
Or
It's Leap, right? Okay.
wait, Leap. Yes, Leap. Did I say Loop?
You
kept
were saying it a
Loop,
couple
and I was
times,
Leap.
I was like
It's
looking at
it's
my notes. I was
close.
like, I think it's Leap.
They're all vowels.
Loop is like a off-brand like mini sect.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, wait, I was taking notes from the start of the session. I literally wrote Leap, and then in the next sentence I wrote Loop.
Please.
Leap.
So yeah, I guess Hana and Ward have that conversation amongst
Cool.
the two of them.
Awesome. Great.
NATO sirens in downtown Chicago. Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So you may enjoy that if you so desire.
And I guess it's sort of like this with like the sand too. Instead of like fog, it's like a sandstorm.
Yeah,
mean-
so instead of it being like a fog, it's kind of like a orangey green haze. It's
See.
nice.
That first comment, the siren isn't meant to warn the public, it's meant to scare away the tornado.
I mean, I live that, so
Yeah, I
Oh,
was like,
really?
Ron probably knows what this is,
I've
but
Yes.
never heard anything like this.
I love this video. It kills me every time. It's real
That
good.
second comment is pretty good. Howling sounds of hell.
Yeah, okay. If no one else wants to talk to each other about anything,
Unless Ward wants to bring it up to them, I don't know. But I don't know if Hana does.
I'm down for anything. Do your business.
I mean, I, the player, do not want to go over everything again, but Ward will probably go around and gather everyone and lore drop all of this stuff and be like, there are certainly quite a few moving parts to all of this, but the one common denominator appears to be this Leap company, whatever they are. So if we are to cut this off before it gets too uncontrollable, it may be in our best interests to broaden our horizons a bit and see if we can learn something about this enigmatic company.
Okay, and two more things. Do you think that planet that we received that deciphered information about, do you think that planet is like in the system that Leap is hanging out in? Or in the undiscovered frontier? Maybe.
we cannot know for certain, but it is entirely possible, and you would not be surprised if perhaps any or all of the lesser known undiscovered planets out there are within Leap's grasp, considering how wide a net they seem to have thrown.
And then another thing, the test that we were fighting against, they had the Pyron mech.
Yes.
And then looking at the faction deciphered information that we got, there was an Pyron subject, but the subject was unavailable. Do you think this might be? I don't know. The information for this subject was they are undergoing tests to determine strength of conviction, awaiting results, testing for trueness of faith, reason to examine surface, ability to change minds. Do you think that sounds like your test, maybe?
Mm,
Because they're like trying to like take people away from your hive mind, right? Or they're like trying to.
correct.
And if this is like the Pyron subject, I don't know.
Trueness of faith, faith to the Apyran religion, ability to change minds, ability
From
to
like
change the hive
your
mind.
yeah, or like bring more people away from the hive mind, or
Yes, this could
either that, or we're just finding connections that aren't there.
also true. Once we become suspicious, it is
Yeah,
easy
we
to
look for
find things where we do not need
that
to.
aren't there. Maybe.
However, these are all of these other entries are about us.
Yeah. Um,
It seems odd that another just this other test would be included.
but I don't know. I mean, the test does seem to be pretty intertwined with all of this.
True, but so is your assassin.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they would work with Philippe. I don't know, maybe if they like make a deal for the weaponry or something. I don't know.
They are so desperate to see you dead. Perhaps they might be willing.
Hmm. Do you think there's more than one of these weird tentacle monsters? Or
Mm,
is there like one tied to every gun, or is it like whoever shoots the gun, it teleports
first,
there? But it's like all the guns. Like there's like
imagine
10 people with guns that just like jumps from
10
every
different
location.
places. Well,
There was no way to like distinguish their features, right? From like the two that we saw.
I don't think you are familiar enough with them to be able to do
Yeah.
that.
We would probably have to like shoot it again and research it. But that doesn't seem like a great idea.
Tag it like it's a animal in captivity.
Yeah,
yes. Or find another gun.
maybe, yeah.
Shoot both guns at the same time. See if we
See
get
what happens.
2 aliens.
Like if it like splits in two or something. All right, more stuff to keep in mind.
Sick. Cool. Great. Are you ready to consider the mission then?
I think
Sure.
so.
What did Hana get from last time? You know already that, at least from what I assume, the place that you want to infiltrate is this office space, this Paragon office space. They go by SB security as a front, as you know, but they are actually Paragon. And you know the building and the floor that it is on already, but everything else you can do some gathering for.
And I like found like a good entry point and like the time that I had gone in when it was like closed or whatever. And there didn't seem to be anyone there.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is there to find? I guess like maybe could we like gather information for like any passcodes we might need to like enter in their doors without like breaking their doors? I think it was like glass doors, or it was like a glass like windowed room or something.
Yeah, there was there was like 2 or 3 elevators. I don't remember exactly what I said. That get you up to the floor, and then there was like a hallway, that led from the elevators to this office space and the like. I don't know how do I explain it exactly, but like you could look into the office space like completely, like it's all
Yeah,
just
yeah.
window from floor to ceiling.
So if we're in there, anyone on the outside can see us like snooping around.
Yeah. And you from what you saw, you like looked out and you could see that 2 walls that like the 2 walls that pointed outside were also all window.
Oh, okay.
So I guess 3 of the 4 walls of this place, from what you saw, were all window, and then one of them wasn't.
A lot of window.
I mean, theoretically, we could just enter the building from the outside if we feel like doing some like repelling. Um,
Do
Sick.
those cool window laser opener
yeah, like
things.
Yes.
cutting like a circle into the window and
Yeah.
I don't know. What do we want to gather information for? But this, I guess we could get like a building layout.
Yeah. Was it all
Um,
like? Is it like a paper trail, or is it a bunch like? Was there a server room or something? How are we gonna get all this data?
I don't know. I didn't get to look inside, so
Oh yeah.
or I didn't get to like go into the room, so I don't know what exactly they have in there.
You could probably guess that because these guys are hackers.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
gonna be
Yeah.
digital.
They
Uh-huh.
probably don't have like cabinets of files.
I guess we should.
Also, who knows how much paper is even that well used in the future.
Yeah.
So
That's true. We should probably have like, I guess our own hacks or technical breaches, bypass, online security,
We all
firewalls.
just look at we all just look at Nick.
Eventually
Yeah.
Yes.
level.
We just
yeah, I
stare
was
at
gonna
Nick.
say your gather information is gathering nicks.
Yes.
We make sure Nick comes with us. We make sure Nick doesn't have anything else on our schedule.
You better be free.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything like specific we want to gather information for.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you want to enter the building. Because if you want to go in through the outside, then you probably don't need to know about security at all.
Yeah, if we just like
In
enter
places
through
outside of the office, yeah. But if you go in through if you make it like a heist situation where you come in through the front door, then maybe you do need to know about that. Depends.
Although I didn't come across like any security measures, right? At least just like going through like the elevators in the building in
Did
Did
general
you
you walk
before
go
through
I
the
got
front?
at
there.
like
Did
the
you walk
middle
through the
of the
front
night?
door? Yeah.
I went in the middle of the night, and I think I don't think I went in through the front. I'm pretty sure I think you like let me climb up the building. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think I went in through the front door. I'm pretty sure I went in through like a window.
I think there was definitely a way that you got in where you didn't encounter any security.
Yeah,
Also, I think you rolled good enough that you didn't.
that
Yeah,
too. I
you rolled a
think I rolled a
6 and a
6.
5,
Yeah.
so you were fine.
Oh, we can't count on that again.
Not today.
Yeah, it might be better to just try to go in from the outside. Personally, I don't
Yeah,
know.
outside's probably.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you want to do building layout? I guess security wouldn't be as important. Maybe.
Because I doubt it would tell us like what security they have exactly, like in their rooms and stuff. So
Yeah, you can imagine that each business that works there probably has different
yeah,
security.
and imagine them being hackers, they would have like super secure. I mean, like they go around like scamming other people, assuming they have good
Yeah,
protection on
they do
their.
literally break into security to secure businesses and then make those businesses pay them to
To fix it.
re-secure
Yeah.
it. So
I would imagine they have like pretty high tech stuff. Yeah, I think building layout's probably like the most important thing.
you could do research maybe to see if is there anything that you're you're infiltrating this place to look for information, right? Is that the deal?
Well, I think so. I personally I want to see what else my rival's doing in there, and also if we can find like the information they got on us, like on all of us.
Okay.
Or
And
maybe
also why
who got
my
the information on it.
yeah, like who else got it? Because I'm assuming they didn't just sell it only to my rival, maybe. Since they took information on like all of us. And also why my rival keeps going back there repeatedly.
Gotcha.
I guess we could try to find out if this is connected to
Leap?
Leap. That's like far off planet that we kind of know about. They have any connections to all of this money or to the gun?
Yeah.
But this is all stuff that we would do while we're there, not stuff that we
When
gather
we're
information
actually in
about.
there. Yeah.
Um, okay, do we have people who can help us with hacking? We have bros, but I don't think our bros.
Hacker people.
Dominic would
Is
be good. Could be a scout. And then Taylor has like a gang of guys.
They can charge the building.
Cause
Rather than pack it.
a distraction.
Barge in through the front doors.
They say,
Fly
"Don't go
high.
upstairs. Don't go upstairs."
Block all the elevators.
I guess we could have Dominic help, like, keep an eye out.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
let
can
us
certainly
know
do
if
something.
anyone is like coming to the room.
Mhm.
Or coming to
Since
the
we don't
room.
really know too much about what the interior security is.
Yeah, they can like hang out near like the door to the Paragon office and call us if someone's coming.
Yeah.
So we can get out of there. Yeah, I think the main thing is just building layout.
Cool. That's
We
fine.
just
Makes
all
things
roll
easy.
building layout and hope someone gets a 6.
Has to make it. Clearly.
I would say
Someone has to make it,
you
right?
guys can like roll this twice if you want to like have one person do something specific and the other person do something different. Like building layout in relation to something else. If you wanted to roll multiple times.
I don't
But
think any of my people can really help with this.
I don't know. I could look for like the security layout, like the terminals and whatever, online stuff there is.
Yeah, hack the security
Maybe.
cams and then
Yeah, like the security cams and like the locks on the doors, that kind of stuff. Maybe not like the layout, but everything that is like connected online.
sure.
Be good if we could like get information to like their codes beforehand, so we don't have to like go in there and then try to hack stuff. If we just go in knowing their codes already.
Absolutely would be helpful, yeah.
Okay. So
So yeah.
I'm
so
gonna do that one.
okay, great. And then I guess building layout would be like maybe like top down blueprint kind of stuff.
Yeah, like a physical layout of the building.
A 3D model of the office space.
a VR model.
A VR model. It's a hologram.
Yes.
Great.
Maybe like the plans, the engineering plans or whatever.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys can find the plumbing for sure.
Couple rolls of duct tape in there.
Please. We'll fix the building for them. Air
Yeah, we
quotes.
will.
Yeah, after we break in, we can tape up the window with duct tape.
Oh my god.
We fix
All
the
of those
door.
windows.
We improved your security for free.
You're welcome.
What you guys do?
Everything.
Okay. Anything else? Those two?
I don't think so.
Okay. Either way, you're going to get information no matter how you roll. Just depends on how much.
But maybe we get lies.
I have been telling you guys lies this entire time, actually.
I mean, yeah, considering how low we roll, it's been a lot of lie.
Who wants to do building layout?
We'll do that.
Okay. So if there's nothing else, you guys want to gather information about, we can have Nix and Rio roll for those.
Yeah.
Cool. Go for it. Roll your D6s.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Good stuff.
That's good.
Good stuff.
Good.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Oh, and there's
Oh,
the
there it
Please.
is. Off to a good start, guys.
for a total of 6.
Yeah, for a total
For
of
both,
6.
right? Yeah. 6 for
Yeah,
both.
that's how it works.
That's definitely how this works.
It's teamwork.
We actually
They were
average
working
average it out to a 3, so you guys
Oh,
get
man.
minimal
Please.
information from both.
Good Lord.
Okay, let's start with building layout because that'll be the easiest.
Nothing.
You know what floor it's on. It's on
Nice.
the 44th,
But I could have
45th
told you
floor.
that.
Yes. You can't really find blueprints for like the entire building just because it's a privately owned skyscraper and you would probably need to do some more digging. Let's see. You know that this office is it only takes up this one floor. There is a bathroom, a water cooler, coffee machine, and a couple cubicles. I think what you do, probably what the most important thing that you pull out of this one is that it seems like from maybe like Google Maps images of this floor, Schmoogle, sorry, is that the place looks very high tech. I mean, like there's a bunch of computers, many screens, and lots of like the wall that isn't windows is all servers. And there's plenty of computers and things and terminals that you can get into. Yeah, I think probably from like a Google Maps image, you would probably also see that there is a private elevator inside the office space. Doesn't look like it's on like the like general building information.
Does it look like there's like any sort of like main sort of like what's the word? Like the office that like a president would use, like the president of a company or something. Like a special office. Or do we not get that from a one?
I don't think you get that from a one. I'll give you the elevator and the servers. That's it. Yeah. With Nyx's 5, though, you get a little bit more about stuff. I'd say that you guys, Nyx can get the codes for the like front doors. Almost everything. Excuse me. You can get the codes for like the front door of the place pretty easily, as well as like any like keycard access only floors in the main elevators. You certainly have access to those now. You would just have to like, you know, punch yourself in on like the keycard thing that you put your card up against or whatever. So you have access to everywhere that the main elevators can take you. That's no problem, and you can go in and out of the office space itself with ease. I would say that you can get the you can hack into the security cameras of the ground floor pretty easily, and you can look into those and see that there are a few guards. Though they're mostly the kind of guys who just like sit at the front desk. It doesn't really seem like that they do like a ton of patrolling unless they are called to do so.
They just like greet you when you come in.
Yeah, they're just like the kind of guys that are like, hey, why the fuck did you just walk into this building at 2 a.m.? Please leave, kind of thing. You notice that there's a lot of security camera feeds, like in like the first basement. You can assume that's probably where the security guards kind of are, where they do all of their
Security
like
guarding.
security guarding work, I guess. Yeah, there's one guard there surrounded by screens. He's got his feet kicked up onto the table. He's snork meeing. He's got kind of a gut. Just passed
Nice.
out. With a sandwich on his stomach, you know.
Cold cup of coffee on the table.
Cold cup of coffee, a half-eaten donut.
Like music just quietly playing in the background.
Yeah, not paying attention to the screens at all. You know how it is. The guys that are working the front desk look a little bit more awake than that guy. You get the idea that it's, for the most part, the same, like, 3 dudes that work here overnight. But other than that, you probably, I don't know if you scroll through, like, any of the other floors and, like, if they have any private security, but those wouldn't be, like, readily available to the security guards themselves, who are, like, employed by the whoever leases the building. For Paragon's floor, there are no guards, it seems. The security cameras, there's like one security camera like pointing in the corner by the main elevators, and then there are 3 cameras each in corners of the inside the office building that point inside and mostly have a focus on the servers. I think with these security cameras, you can probably see that there is like a separate office for where like someone who may be more important works. And these cameras actually, they sort of, I think it's kind of strange that you think that you notice that there's like a blind spot where that private elevator is. It seems like they don't record anything about who goes in and out of that. But yeah, you can get into the building and into the office with ease. And also, I would say with a 5 that you can get into that separate private office as well. That would be no problem. But yeah, I think that's what you get with a 5 there.
If we're like watching the cameras and stuff for like a few nights before we go in, do we see anyone on like show up on camera in the Paragon office?
Are you only looking at night?
Probably not. Like if we're doing all this like a couple of days before we go in, I think Hana would spend like a day or two just kind of watching the cams.
Sure. Yeah, I think you notice people do seem to enter during the day, though surprisingly, not often. It's pretty empty most of the time. It seems like that there's like one person that shows up, some woman in formal business wear, who opens up like the private office with a key card and then promptly shuts the door behind her. Stays there for a 9 to 5 and then leaves. Sometimes you like hear like, because these security cameras would have sound. Sometimes you like hear the sound of the front door opening. There's like a beep when it opens, and then you don't see anybody actually walk in. But other than that, it's like this woman shows up, enters that office, is not visible by the cameras for most of the day, and then leaves around 5. And then like occasionally like a janitor comes in and does some sweeping. But usually that woman is like in the office watching him while he does his janitorial business.
Okay.
Other than that, it's pretty lonely in there. Pretty empty. I guess one thing that you probably would know, I think Nyx probably can point this out to everybody. When looking at the security cameras and looking specifically at the very top of these rectangular boxy servers, is that there are like 2 Roombas.
Nice.
Roombas?
Roombas on the top of these
They
servers.
survived. They're model 25,000.
Yeah. There are these Roomba-shaped things
Okay.
that seem to be up there. They have like a soft red light that seems to always be beeping. Or just blinking.
And are they like connected to the cameras, or
Nope, they're just on top of the servers. Couple of Roombas.
they're beeping with a red light?
You notice these turn on when the woman leaves. And then she turns them off when she enters.
So it's like security.
Yeah, some sort of
Security
Probably.
Roomba.
security. Maybe it's like it like detects movement or something.
I mean,
Oh.
They're Roombas, what could they do?
Okay, so we should worry about that, and then we should also probably worry about not being caught on their security cameras if we're gonna be like rooting through their office. So we gotta take care of 3 cameras. Does the private office is the wall to the private office one of like the windowed walls, or?
It's one of the it's in the center of the servers.
Oh, okay. So we would have to, yeah.
okay, so do we wanna hack the cameras, the security system? What are we attempting here?
We gotta
Where
at
do we
least
start?
hack the cameras in the office, the 3 cameras. Because
There's
once we,
someone watching those.
yeah, because once we leave, I mean, we'll probably leave some sign that people had come in, so we don't want them like going through their cameras and finding us.
I'll say that you guys could probably notice that like the building security cameras, like what the guy down in the basement can see is only the hallway. So those 3 in the inside of the office could be manned by someone remotely.
Remotely.
Hey, they got Zoom here. It's the
Okay.
future.
But maybe like if we could hack them and just do the same thing we did that one time and just like feed
Or
them
like a
loop
loop on it,
of,
yeah.
yeah, of the same stuff. They
So we do
have
that,
no
yeah.
reason to, you know.
So we do that
Like
before we
anything.
go in.
Okay.
And then it might be best to just go in through the windows instead of trying to like go in through the front door and have to deal with those guards.
Okay.
Yes, none of us has social skills.
Yeah. And then we got to deal with those 2 Roombas. Once we're actually inside the room.
Sure, those are easily hackable.
Just waiting for us.
Or I guess we could just take them.
That too.
Mine
Take the
now, my
Roombas.
Roomba.
Yeah, my Roomba. What if
Like,
they are
Our
just a
Roomba.
vacuum
and they're
cleaner?
ours now.
What if they are just vacuum cleaners? When she leaves the office for the night, that's when they start cleaning.
We can use them to clean the theater.
These dusty ass computers, they need those Roombas.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to put a loop on the cameras before we go in, and then we try to go in through the windows somewhere.
Okay. Sounds good.
Leap through the cameras.
Okay, so I think the engagement roll will determine whether or not you are already. I'll say the engagement roll determines like whether or not you have already done this and you are on the building. So if you roll poorly, then you'll have to roll to hack the security cameras.
The very important engagement roll then.
Yeah, okay, let me get this. Okay, I gotta scroll through 400 of these pages to get to the engagement roll. Hang on. If you have to pee, maybe you should pee now while I figure this out.
All right,
Yeah.
be right back.
Let me know when everybody is back.
I am here.
1, 2,
Bro.
3. Okay, everybody back now.
I think so.
I think so.
Sounds good. Okay. I did the math. I am a little
the
iffy
math.
on the math,
Please.
but I think you get 3 dice here.
That's pretty good.
Your mission is bold. Your mission is exploiting a target's vulnerabilities. Some other things are happening, and there are no other factors affecting the mission.
I will roll 3d6 then.
Go nuts.
What's the chance I roll a 3?
They're all going to be 3s. 4, 4, 5.
You
Okay.
say that.
Okay.
5.
That's pretty good.
5.
5, good. All right. So I will say with the 5, you have already hacked into the security cams.
Brag.
You are playing some sort of loop of maybe the previous night or something. And you stand now on the very top of the. Actually, I'll say that you've passed standing on the top of the skyscraper. You're rappelling right now down the side of the skyscraper. It is somewhat difficult to keep yourself steady as you rappel down the building, because the city continues to move. And there is sort of a very steady rattling, shaking to pretty much everything.
Does Ward need to repel as they float?
I've probably not.
Nice.
You can just hang out in the sky with everybody else.
Ward is just chilling.
You can hold all our things. Oh, wait.
Vibes only.
You're holding the lasers to cut into the
Yes.
window.
Cut through the windows. This is
It is still difficult to see. However, you can see in your immediate area, but with all the dust and haze and debris, even when you're going, I suppose, in the middle of the night, there's not like you don't get like many feet in your sight line. You do know that the city is supposed to stop moving either sometime tonight or sometime during the day tomorrow. So hopefully this won't last too long, but you don't know. But yeah, at current, you are rappelling down the building. Yeah.
Ward's keeping track of how many floors we're going down.
Yes. Ward is counting.
I would say just write out, give me some prowls. Unless you're not trying to be like super sneaky.
Away. Wow.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Oh, gee.
Sounds good. So right, okay.
Oh,
Yeah?
All right. Okay. Keep it coming. There's one.
Lord. Save the roll, I guess.
Isn't double ones like a
It's a
Crit fail.
isn't there like a super fail? Yeah. Okay.
crit fail.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Like,
And
You
then
fall off
die.
your harness.
Hana
No.
dies.
Yes.
Please roll a new character.
Well, a good thing I guess I didn't state that this was going to be a group check right off the bat, because there would be, unless you want to do that, then nothing bad would happen. But someone would take 3
Someone
stress.
takes 3 stress.
I don't know.
Is that
What's the
worth
worst
it?
thing that can happen from a crit fail on climbing down a building?
You say that.
You
I
say
mean-
that, but it's a crit fail.
How much stress do you have? Thanks.
1.
I mean, she doesn't have to take it.
She doesn't have to lead. Who has
Yeah,
the least stress?
I have 3.
I have 2.
I have 2.
Okay, I'll do it.
Great. So you have 1 success. That means no one falls off the building. And you're not seen by any prying eyes.
The janitor on one of the floors. Like,
Yeah, he just sees you falling. You go, ah! Yeah, I think with this check, you very easily, well, maybe not easily, with a couple of
Yeah.
bumps along the way, you do find floor 45, which is about halfway down the building's exterior. You can peek inside and you see that faster than that has terminal velocity. You can look inside the building and you can see that everything is pretty much the same as you had last seen it. On at least in the video cameras, those 2 Roombas are still there. I think one of the biggest things that you notice, though, as you peek in from the outside, you can see the elevator, the private elevator that is in a blind spot in these security cameras, right in like nestled, like in the sort of nook where this elevator is. There is one fully robotic guard.
oh, okay.
So it was hidden from the cameras.
See that? I didn't know that. This one's not my fault.
This is fine.
Does it appear to be active?
Yep. Just scanning location, and it seems to have an assault rifle. Looks a lot like a droid. Star Wars.
Ooh, Star Wars. This is not the droid you're looking for.
Are they just like one of like the regular battle droids?
Sure. Just the guys with the funny heads who have funny voices.
Who
Yes.
talk a lot?
Yeah. Everybody's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. Just standing there. Keeping watch on this door. Or door, I should not say. Elevator. But you are outside currently looking in.
Well, if they are watching the elevator, then we should be able to sneak up on it.
If they can't turn.
Ward stares at Hana. Should.
If it doesn't have a turnable neck, then we're good.
Yes. Ward pulls out the glass cutters, I guess.
Okay.
And we'll start to work on the windows.
Okay.
What would glass cutters be?
Engineering.
Fine engineering tools, I guess.
Or you could say
Alright.
fine demolition tools is
Like
something that you could do too.
burglary gear, maybe.
Yeah,
Burglary
certainly,
gear.
certainly
Where
something there.
There is. Okay. Yes, I will declare burglary gear. Pull out some glass cutters.
Great.
And attempt to wreck my way through this glass. Yes. Sense destroying glass.
I suppose so. Yeah, as long as you're not trying to be like you're not trying to finesse it or do it like dexterously.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, and we will use the gear for a +1
Cool.
and
4.
okay.
Sounds good.
3 + 1 is 4.
Yay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Great. You do this. What is your glass cutting look like here? Do you do the circle thing or do something different?
Um so instead of doing one circle, Ward actually pulls out like 6 different glass cutters and makes like 6 tentacles. And so instead of having to rotate like all the way around, Ward just like slightly rotates and like holds all the tentacles in different directions. So that way it's just a very small cut with each tentacle. And then
Nice.
like another tentacle will take out a little suction cup thing, and then they'll just like pull back gently and pop it out.
Cool. Cool. Sounds good. Very sneakily you do. I think you get this hole open very smoothly with your cool ass technique with all your tentacles. You like pull the piece of glass out and you just drop it and it falls.
Yes, this is fine.
Though, because you rolled a 4, let's see, you still have to suffer a consequence. So I will say, I'm not gonna say, ooh, you already got cuts.
Glass shards.
Glass shards, hand cut. We've
Paper
done
cut.
that before. Paper cut. Yeah, I guess paper cut makes the most sense. Glass cut. It'll just be a 1, level 1.
2 armor or not to armor.
Always armor. You never know.
Armor those paper cuts.
It's always
Okay.
for the paper cuts. You know.
Yes, we will armor the
That's
paper
required.
Paper cuts are gonna kill you.
Sweet. Okay. You all can do like a cool swing into the hole and
cut. Yeah.
do a barrel roll inside. As you unclip yourselves from your ropes and from your harness. What do you do when you enter? Do you like, are you just like, I'm in?
We're in.
What's the next step here? You're inside.
Probably the Roombas and the robot.
Yeah.
Right.
Rid of those.
Okay, I will say you right as you step in, I think the Roombas, you're like still like right at the window. So there's like in front of you, you can see like desks with chairs and no, like I know I said cubicles earlier, but I didn't like mean that there's actually like cordoned off areas. I just mean that there's like desk spaces. Those are in front of you in the center of the room, and at the very back of the room that you're, or the wall that you're facing, are the all of the servers. And in the center of those servers is the door to that private office. And on either side of the private office door, there are the 2 Roombas. And as you enter, the 2 little lights on the Roombas start to blink a little bit faster. And then suddenly, out of the front of the Roombas, appears 2 laser grids that seem to the edge of the grids, these red lasers, stop at the desks, so they're only in front of the servers.
Okay.
They don't appear to be like moving closer towards us.
No,
or
they
anything.
seem to be, at the moment, they are stationary. But they do have stick lasers. Can
Guess
like
we
a
could-
cat this shit.
I guess we could leave those alone for now.
We'll deal with that later.
We can deal with the robot first.
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes.
how do we do that?
He's vibing.
I mean, we don't want them to know that we were in here, right? So we probably shouldn't destroy it. Can we just like shut it off for
Deactivate it.
and then just like activate it when we're leaving again? Can we
I
just, like,
guess we can try. I could try to. Yeah, I guess I could try to turn it off, or Rio could attempt to, Mr. Engineer, who's clearly very good at engineering.
I'm fantastic at engineering.
Sure.
Sure, do what you'd like.
Okay, do I try to like hack into it and turn it off from a distance? Or do we want to like wait to use that on, I don't know, the Roombas or whatever?
we
It's
have
not
like 2 people with
ping.
engineer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we could do engineer on the robot and then hack on the Roombas. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because if the robot's not moving, engineer is probably better for that, and then the hack on the Roombas. Because we don't
From a
know what the Roombas are
distance.
gonna do.
Yeah,
Or
and
like,
we don't. Yeah, we don't want Nyx to like walk up closer to it and then just get sliced by lasers.
we need Nyx.
Thank you.
We can't do
Glad to
anything
know
without
that you
Nyx.
guys appreciate me.
Okay.
Who wants to engineer the robot?
I will. It's what I do.
All right, so you're doing this from a distance, yes?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see, I got something for that, I'm sure.
Okay.
Uh,
Risky standard.
okay, yeah. Nice.
Cool. Right?
Swag.
Yeah, I'm just messing around with my tools. And I you know, sort this robot out. Didn't even have to use any duct tape.
I was just about to say, no duct tape needed. This robot is standing facing this elevator with its assault rifle at the ready, it seems, and you just kind of sneak up behind like one of the further desks, and you like do a little like do a little dance. You do Fortnite dance. You take out some of your engineering tools, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen one of these guys before," and you know that you can just kind of hack into it a little bit, and there's a couple of wires in there that, if pulled or maybe just turned off, that thing will shut right down. You get in there and you find those wires, and without a doubt, this guy just kind of slumps forward a little. Makes that sort of sound as he powers down.
Told you guys I could engineer.
Impressive.
Maybe it's because you weren't using tape for once.
You know,
I don't think that
maybe.
has anything to do with it, but okay.
Can we take the droid's gun from it?
Yes, Ward would like to eat the gun.
So on the off chance it does reactivate, it doesn't
That's
have
a
a weapon.
sentence.
I would say you can. You would have to do some Mission Impossible skills around these lasers, though.
Oh, there are lasers between us and the
The
droid?
elevator's on the same wall as the servers.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was
So
on the
we
other
would have,
side.
yeah, so
Okay.
we gotta,
you'd
we
have to do
gotta
some
turn off the
tiptoeing.
lasers first.
Yeah, let's Roomba first. And
Get
then
them
Hack the
Roombas.
Roombas.
then we'll go for the
I will
gun.
attempt to interface and tell those little Roombas to go take a nap for a while.
Sure, sounds good.
Command sleep.
1 and a 3.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Yeah,
Ooh.
great. Great.
Oh.
Fantastic.
So, luckily for you guys, you're have kind of like nestled yourselves behind a couple of desks. So you're not like directly facing the Roombas, but as Nyx kind of pushes her arm out to get a good eye line, and I guess a little bit of her face too out from her cover, and she gets an eye line for these Roombas, and she like does like a holographic shit and like tries to like type out and see if like she can like get through to these guys, but they're a couple of wily little things because they lack a lot of the digital
They're too old tech for me.
shit that they're too low tech for you.
Oh no, they're still Roombas.
They're real Roombas.
They've literally just taken Roombas and like
Yeah.
added just a few.
Added lasers.
You just like strap an iPhone on top of one. That's your security.
You can probably imagine that because these are hackers, they would know that they would try to get hacked into, so they're trying to acquire things that maybe are
Anti-hack.
hard to hack. Yeah.
Amazing.
So these little buggers, as you try to hack into them, they register that they're being hacked into, or at least attempted to be. And the lasers that are sort of angled down to be just in front of the servers quickly shift, so they are covering the entire room and are just above your heads.
Oh gee.
Help.
And I will say, in the process of these lasers moving upwards, one of the lasers catches Nyx in the arm, and she could take like burned first, or the level 1 harm, burned.
Okay. So
Okay.
the lasers do move.
But they are
Good to know.
currently they're stationary, but they are above your heads as you kind of squat down under cover behind one of these desks.
Well, I'm out of ideas now.
You guys can probably figure out that they're like, if you're standing at full height, these lasers would come to about your chest.
So do we just like crawl about on the floor?
Or I guess we could just shoot the Roombas.
We
It'd
went
be
to all
like
that
sneak
effort.
past them.
to not
Well,
shoot
I mean,
we already know
yeah,
that.
robot
I mean,
film.
yeah, but at this point, I mean, we also did cut giant holes into the windows, so
Okay, fine. I mean, they will know we're here anyways.
unless you have like a way to fix the windows on our way out.
I would say you can probably figure out that these things are low tech enough that there's not any like cameras on them. They seem like they just do what they do.
Lasers.
They just do lasers.
Jump the little Roombas, I guess.
Jump them.
Okay. Time to squish.
Fuck up those Roombas.
Look up those Roombas. All right, they're on the other side of the room as you, and they are on top of servers.
I will shoot the Roombas.
Amazing.
Okay. With a gun.
I will shoot the Roomba with a gun.
Okay.
With a rifle? I'll declare a rifle. and shoot
This
it.
is so close range for a rifle.
Oh wait, how close are we?
I
How
mean,
close
like,
is
it's not like a big office. I would say maybe, like 30 feet from one
Okay.
end to the other.
Don't you have like
I'll-
handguns or something?
I'll do a pistol.
You
I
go.
mean, you can certainly do a sniper.
Yeah,
I just
I
think it's
mean,
really
yeah,
funny to scope a 30-foot gap.
Yeah, it's rifle or shotgun, so I could have done shotgun. Yeah, I'll just do a pistol.
Spray and pray. Okay, force. You shoot one of them. I would say it actually takes you a second. You probably had to lose 2 rounds into this thing. Or I'd say you lose 1 round into it. One of them goes a little too high and embeds itself into the wall. But you shoot one of them, and it seems like part of, or well, I would say the way that these things shot out their lasers, their grid, I don't know, is that they needed the two overlapped. So from what you can tell, when you just shoot one of them, it looks like that the lasers above you have sort of dimmed a little bit. So they're most likely less painful if you walk through them.
How reassuring.
But you would need to shoot the other one to get rid of them completely. But you have gotten one of them. I will say, though, with a 4, your consequence is that your gun jams.
Okay.
And you will need to use a different one if you want to shoot again.
Do any of you have something?
Deal with computers.
I have an assault rifle, but I don't think I should.
I
Amazing.
mean, nothing in my personal items, the hacker items, are not for
Hacking.
breaking things physically.
I can declare my chemicals and just try and spill some stuff on it and try and
Just make
circuit it.
a little bomb,
Just burn a hole
Just-
through it.
a
Just
tiny
a-
bomb.
tiny one.
Get some acid, melt them down. They're old.
Yeah.
Just melt some acid.
That
Just melt
works.
a hole straight through it.
I'll declare my bandolier of chemicals,
Okay.
and I'll float on over. Ward will pull out some vials of chemicals, shake them up a little bit, and mix them into one other larger vial. You'll see the chemicals change color to this weird bubbling green acid. And
Very fun.
Ward will attempt to spill some acid on it. So we will wreck, and
Go crazy, go stupid.
with the declare, we'll get a +1. Hey, there you go.
Needed that.
Nice.
There's a
Oof.
6.
Yeah, very quickly and efficiently you pour acid on this poor little Roomba. It squeaks a little when you burn it. Because it's so sad.
Program
And
this.
it programmed it to be to make you guilty when you kill it.
Amazing.
But you do it very efficiently. Pour acid directly like down the center of this circular thing, and it just eats right into it. And quickly, the grid that had been stopping you previously fizzles out, and you are now in a Roomba-less room.
Nice. No more Roombas.
No more Roombas.
Well,
The
now
last
what?
2 Roombas that remained in existence.
Yes.
And we broke them. How sad.
We just
did-
take the Roombas at this point.
I mean,
Maybe-
you shot one of them and you burned the other one, so
Maybe
I'm
we
sure
can
they'll
try to
be
fix the Roombas.
useful.
Try to fix them.
Board
Long-term
will
project, fix the room.
fix the Roombas. This is what we're gonna spend all our downtime on. No more
Just the
drives,
Roombas.
just Roombas.
No more.
We've done
We will
enough drive
revive
stuff
them.
Let's
I'm
fix our
sure there are
Roombas.
people out there that would pay good money to see.
for
The
like an
last 2
authentic
Roombas.
Roomba. Yeah, we
The
take the
last two
Roombas.
Roombas in existence.
Amazing.
These
The
were
room-
prized
the-
artifacts, and you killed them.
The Roombas can be the +2
I know.
material we get from the corporatocracy thing.
We could charge like
Yeah.
100
Oh my
bucks
God.
for 100 space bucks for a viewing.
100 space bucks.
Amazing.
Come check out my Roombas. They're real. Never before seen.
All covered in duct tape.
The duct tape was there when
when we
got
found
them.
it. Board will go over and eat that assault rifle.
Okay, yeah, go crazy. Jump up.
Just nom nom.
When you eat it, you feel within your stomach or brain, I guess, that it is fully loaded.
Nice.
Did you turn the safety off when you ate it?
No.
All right, just be sure. One of your organs doesn't accidentally pull the trigger.
Accidentally.
Cool. All right. Well, you seem to be in a untrapped room as of right now, so go ahead and do your snooping if you so desire.
Do we want to check out the servers first?
That's what we came here for.
They have the Roombas protecting it, so.
Yes.
And then we can check out the office afterwards, or the private office.
Okay.
Time to hack some servers.
Yeah, you can walk right up to these servers now. As there's no more Roomba. And there's, I mean, they line the wall, so there's maybe about 10 of them. Some of them look like they have like sticky notes, like written on like near like the edge of some portions where it's like, oh, this needs to be updated, or oh, fix this, blah blah blah, whatever. But yeah, the information that you need is most likely in these.
Wait, did we have our fleshing come with us?
You said he was
Yeah,
would be
he's-
waiting outside.
Yeah, he's standing
Watching
outside
the door.
too.
Yeah. You can probably see him. He like turns over to you and waves.
We take one of the dead Roombas and wave it back at him.
Amazing.
He's like, ugh.
That's horrific.
Somewhat morbid.
Yeah.
All right, what do we need to do to get into the servers?
I will say, as of right now, you can pretty easily just like plug in. And upon plugging in, I guess you can access shared files throughout all of these servers. Though access is a loose term. I say you go to click on one of these folders that maybe is like that says like customers or something, and it's completely impossible to decipher. It looks like you'll need to decode or hack, I suppose, these to decrypt them.
Does it look like the
Yep.
same kind of code that was in the flash drive?
Good thinking, but not on the surface. It doesn't look like it's the same. It looks like you would just need to like run it through like decryption software.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Something that can be done like now, or I think when we decrypted the other ones, we needed to do like a project for those or something.
Yeah, the thing about that one was that it was handwritten.
Oh, okay.
So you like needed to do it by yourself and you needed to like outsource someone. Here you would just need to roll for it.
Okay. And that would be like a hack thing.
Yeah, so like an interface or something.
We all look at Nick's again.
Like
It is
standing
written
there.
in such a way that you
Like,
do not understand.
oh wait, that's me. I'm the one that. Yeah, sure, I'll do it,
You are
Like,
the one
go
who
on.
hacks.
and I will hack.
I am the one who hacks.
Yes, it's in my name.
Please.
It says hacker in my job description. Okay, that's better.
Okay, 5. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't take long to get through these files. I would say there's plenty of stuff that you can get into. And Nick, you can probably share this with everybody. So like once you decrypt it, you can just like, here's all the files, so everybody enjoy. Unless you don't, when you want to keep them all for yourself, I don't know. But let's see. There are 2 folders here. One says staff, the other one says customers. I'm assuming you probably want customers right now.
We want both.
Okay. I will start with customers.
Obtain all those
and
stuff.
in that folder, there's like you click on this one folder and then it opens up to like hundreds of other folders that all have like names of businesses. It seems like that Paragon has their paws in almost every business in EXO. Though you can scroll around for the ones that maybe you are most interested in, and you find 3 that you're probably looking for. You find Leap, you find Sentinel, and you find Blood Moon.
Absolutely get distracted for at least a few minutes. Just
Yeah.
scrolling through stuff.
Yeah. Why don't we? I want someone to like roll me like a study or something to go through these files and see if you can piece together what's going on.
Sure.
Who has study? I have 2 study.
I have
Oh,
0.
there you go.
Okay, yeah, go crazy, Nick.
Hey.
Awesome. I
I
forgot
am
to take
looking
something.
at all the things, just everything scrolling.
I forgot to take something for the 5, so let me just take one of these really quick. Should not be a problem at all for you guys, though.
Oh, I forgot there were clocks.
Yeah, all these
I
unlabeled
wasn't even
ones.
looking at them.
All these unlabeled ones just for you guys.
It's a lot of clocks.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This is the only one that matters right now, is the one that I'm taking. Yeah, it was a sex study. You can parse together what exactly is going on here pretty easily. I would say just going, what the fuck did I write down though? Let me see if I can remember it. It looks like Paragon does this thing where they are occasionally requested to do hacking into other companies. Where like one company would say, "Hey, can you hack into these guys?" And Paragon would be like, "Yeah, of course, just pay me for it." They seem to do that, but they also have a knack for hacking into the person or the business who also asks them to do things. So they have information on many people and businesses here. When you click on, I'll start with I'll just go alphabetical since these 3 are the ones that seem to stick out the most to you guys. When you open up the folder for Blood Moon Syndicate, they say some things. Yep. Just want to make sure I had the name right. It's been a while. It says here that it looks like originally Blood Moon was actually the ones who requested the information on you guys. You can probably guess as to why.
Oops.
And it looks like that Paragon did as they requested and sold them the information, although they kept the information and sold it to Leap as well without telling Blood Moon. Though it's funny, if you do some more parsing in here, you find out that Paragon also hacked into Blood Moon just because they wanted that information. And they're greedy little guys.
I just periodically hear like Nick's going, no, no way, they did not, no.
The drama.
Yeah.
The hacker
Oh,
drama.
It's just Nick's
you guys are like,
Good
what is
reactions.
it? You see that they also hacked into Blood Moon because they wanted to sell their information as well for a little cash on the side, you know? And they found out that Blood Moon is, albeit wanting the information on you guys for themselves, and then Paragon later selling the information to Leap, Blood Moon and Leap seem to be working together. And you find this particularly clearly when you enter Leap's folder. I think a lot of the crud that you end up parsing through is like, oh, this is like where they transport things and what kind of ships they seem to be under their employ. Though it's interesting, there's nothing, they can't seem to find any information on what exactly Leap is transporting. Because they seem to be very good at exchanging goods, money, and or individuals in security camera blind spots. There are many images of like a Leap transport ship where like the tail end is very conveniently behind a building, so they can't see what actually is being moved. I think the most important thing that you find out of all of this stuff here is that there is one single security cam image of a settlement on a red planet. The image has very precise, exact coordinates and is tagged as Leap HQ. Yes, there's records of on and off planet travel to this red world. And like I said earlier, they don't actually know what is being transported here, but it seems like that there's quite a bit of activity. I think the other most important thing you find here is that all three of these organizations seem to be working in tandem, with Leap being the center of it all. The hazy, low-quality security footage of this Leap HQ, there seems to be images of transport ships with a familiar insignia to Hana, Blood Moon's insignia on a couple of ships that come and go. And then as well as one that's a little bit more familiar to a wider audience, Sentinel ships. So the Mafia. I think that is the majority of stuff that you find here. Is that these guys all seem to be working together, and you have a exact coordinates as to where Leap is.
Next turns around and just goes, you guys will not believe all that I just found. I found so much.
We gather around and listen.
I'll give them like the Cliff's Note version. I am omitting like a ton of stuff. Just what I found personally interesting. It's like no details, just kind of vague. And I'm not answering any of their questions. I just like keep going, like
Please.
And then they hacked them back, but they were still hiring other people. Listen, this is a whole fucking mess. It's like a whole soap opera in here. And there's a lot of files. I mean, we can look through them later. Probably it should be for the best. I think we should probably get moving before something
Yeah,
happens.
just take everything and
Yeah,
let's get
okay.
out of here, and we can take a closer look.
Yeah, I already like uploaded everything to my personal server, so we're ready to go.
Do we want to just? They probably have like backups, right? Deleting it from there. Their servers probably wouldn't do anything.
Hackers, they would have
I imagine they have.
contingencies in place.
I think as you guys are getting ready to pack up and stuff,
Or was there anything interesting in the staff folder?
it was mostly of like their hackers. They all go by code names, so no real names are actually in each of these individual
Okay.
profiles. You do see YR in there. You see that there's a big terminated text written near her name, so she's dead. But other than that, it just looks like a bunch of hackers. Some of them have like you have heard a word of their names before, like just because some of them are particularly notorious.
So for those three groups,
Mhm.
we don't really know what they're doing together. We just know that they're all like hanging out on this one planet, transporting something there.
Yeah. I think there's one thing that you do know, or that you find in the Blood Moon folder. There's one that says like, there's like a subfolder that's like, oh, this is the people that they're actually like speaking to face, and your rifle comes up. It seems like she'd never told them her name or anything. She just said that she was a representative of the syndicate, and she comes by every so often to speak with them about information they find, and then also go upstairs.
Upstairs. To like a different floor.
Yeah, they in this file where like it has like notes about her, it says that she's very blunt and rude. And when they say she goes upstairs, they have upstairs in quotation marks.
Okay, that's probably like the private office. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's check out that other room then, or the private room.
Okay. You would need a key card to get in there. Oh wait, you have one.
We have
I forgot
Nick's.
that you rolled well for that. Shit.
Nick did everything.
Yes. You can very easily.
I had carried this
Man,
mission apparently.
literally, what would we do without Nick's hacking?
Get locked out of things.
Yes.
We would just have to shoot the door.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? You will probably do that, and that will not end well.
Yeah.
As you guys are making your way from the servers to the door, the sirens in the city begin to start blaring again. In that sort of haunting, echoey sound. Amplified a little bit because there's a hole in the window, so you can actually hear what's going on outside.
This is fine.
So just consider that as your background for right now. As you're going into
We're
this
scaring
office.
the tornadoes away.
Yeah. You enter this office with ease because you got the information on how to open it ahead of time. And inside, it's a very upscale looking, albeit fairly ordinary, like upper management boss office space. You know, there's like, you walk in and right in front of you is like a nice table or like a nice desk with one single computer and a very nice comfy chair. behind this desk is like a very supervillain kind of wall of screens. No one's in here though; it's empty. Actually, the place is surprisingly empty, considering that like the only employee that actually shows up to this place works in here. You can like go through the place if you want to.
Yeah. Probably.
There's no like servers or anything inside this room. It's just the desk, a screen on the desk, and then screens behind the desk.
Yeah, we look through the desk and the screen.
I think you find the screens themselves are off because no one's here. The screen that's on the desk is on, but all it has is like the rotating like logo of Paragon. And if you like jiggle the mouse or whatever, it comes out of sleep, and it looks like that there's like a email open that like this woman, whoever works here, just had open, and it says it actually is addressed to no one and signed by no one. All it says is like even like in like the email like to from, it just is blank because they're hackers. And all it says is evacuate the building. Remember this, comma, and then today's date. And then a little spider emoji next to it.
God damn it. Okay. Well, they knew we were coming somehow.
Still got some information, so
They are hackers.
Yeah.
that is also true.
Do I know if my rival could hack? Was like good at hacking things or anything? Or
You guys were all soldiers,
yeah.
so she was trained very much like you were.
Okay.
Are you a hacker?
I am definitely not a
Do not tell me. Could we have been hacking all this time?
Is there anything else in her email or on the computer or?
No, it looks like this is the only thing that had been left up. The computer itself is very barren, like the desktop is. It looks like the only thing that this thing was ever used for was like web search, stuff like that. It has like one icon, like if this was like Windows, like 10, it has like one icon at the bottom bar that's just like Chrome, and that's it. Nothing else. Like even like the OS is surprisingly has most of its features surprisingly removed from it.
I'm assuming we don't
Hashtag hackers.
see anything in the
Hashtag
search
hackers.
history or like the internet history.
No, it looks like they were using incognito.
Foiled.
God damn it.
Please.
Incognito.
Darn
Hackers. What are you gonna do? If you like looking through the desk though, there's like two drawers, and one of them has like a key to the building, like a physical key that they probably use to actually get in through the front door. And then another one seems to have like a key card with a sticky note on top that just says upstairs.
Cute.
What is this upstairs? Okay. Wait, those upstairs, the private elevator? What was I thinking? Okay.
There are no stairs in this building, by the way.
Ironic.
Amazing.
All right, I guess we can go up if there's nothing else in here. Is there anything else of interest in here?
No, it seems like everything that would be of interest was either those servers or whatever this woman had, maybe on a personal laptop.
Okay. Then we try to go upstairs.
Sick. You head out of this office, you walk over to the corner where the small personal elevator is. You push the droid out of the way, it clatters to the ground. And do you use this upstairs key card?
Yeah.
Yeah, you there's like a little pad where a key card you'd have to touch it to. You touch it to this pad. The light on the pad goes from red to green, and the doors to the elevator open.
We enter.
Like this is probably a trap, but let's get on with it.
Probably, yeah. I'm pretty sure the person who tried to kill me somehow knew we were coming. So
Yeah, about
Okay.
that, I might have some questions about that. Now that I think about it,
I feel like we can handle a little trap. What's the worst that could happen?
why would you say this right before we're going to do something?
Right before
Right
you
before we
enter
enter
an
the
elevator.
trap.
Movies? Don't you watch movies? That's a bad idea.
Movies they're not real though. This is real life.
Okay,
different.
sure. If anything bad happens, I will just blame it on you.
It's not we're gonna get to the top, but like the floor, and a
Don't.
rogue agent is gonna.
No, I like put my hands in my ears and I just start walking.
Rio, as you say this, you think back to the many movies you've watched, specifically of your favorite series, and you remember one of them where they all got into an elevator.
That was
And they got
rogue
up to the
agent.
top of the building, and then the wire that pulls the elevator up snapped.
Please.
But yeah, you all enter this very tiny elevator. It's real little. The four of you all in here, you're standing pretty shoulder to shoulder, and shoulder to tentacle, I guess.
Nice.
But there are only 2 floors that this thing seems to have access to. One of them is the one that you're on right now. It says 45, and then the other one says 96.
96. It's very high.
There's you know that this building itself has 120 floors.
Really?
So you can go to 96.
Yep.
Do you want to go to 69 instead?
I don't think there's anything important there, but
No.
We
if we
just see
go
a
to
giant
96 upside
neon
down,
blinking sign that says nice.
That's it. That's the only thing. There's no offices. It's just that sign, and then you leave. So yeah, that's the only other button that seems to be pushable here.
Yeah, we go there.
Okay. Push 96. This elevator is pretty creaky. As it pulls up, it seems like it's analog, as hackers love. It pulls you guys up. It shakes a little bit as it goes up. I'm trying to. It's
you're
elevators,
right,
man.
but you should not.
I need to paint the picture here.
Okay.
The elevator shakes a little bit as it goes up. There's like one light at the very top, and it kind of flickers on and off as it's being pulled. It goes very quickly up the shaft because it has to go through a lot of floors. Your ears pop once. Everybody who has ears, I guess, here. Sorry, board.
Keck.
And eventually, the elevator slows to a halt as it says that you have reached the 96th floor. and the doors open up a little shakily. And in front of you seems to be it's like a observation deck kind of thing. It almost seems like it's like those those like observation decks that like tourists can go to in like big buildings, to like look out over the city and stuff and be like, ooh, I've been in this building. Though it seems to be not very touristy. It looks like it's maybe for people who actually work in this building, or if anybody. It seems like that strange that this elevator is like the only one that can actually access it. But I have a question for you guys right now. How are you exiting this elevator?
We aren't.
We just stand there, the elevator open, looking
We
into the
look
room.
around.
It closes.
We have to like hold the door open.
We just keep holding the button. Wait. Okay, so
I mean, do we
maybe we should like toss something in there and see what happens. I am remembering the lasers from that first floor, and
yeah, like do we see anyone or anything that?
I mean, you kind of have like a strange, or it's a sort of an awkward view into the space because it's kind of like a backdoor elevator. So like you look in and you can like see a wall, like a window wall outside, but like the rest of the deck seems to be kind of obscured behind like another wall that sort of protrudes out a little further, and then like you can see like the back end of maybe a bar and a couple of tables in front of you, but like everything beyond that is sort of covered up by this bar and the wall to your left, I guess.
Hana will just like keep her hands on one of her guns and just sort of like creep up to the wall and just kind of like peek around,
Okay.
see if she sees anything.
Give me a survey.
Okay, I don't have anything to survey.
You're looking.
I'm looking horribly.
2.
A 2.
You don't see much here. Actually, I think what happens is that you're not being particularly sneaky about it. So you go ahead and peek your head around this wall, and one of 4 of these droids sees you and has its own little siren go off, and points a rifle at you. And they say, like the annoying ass battle droid, intruder, intruder, like shit like that. I guess, I'll give it to you anyways, since like they know you're here. But you can see out a little bit into the room, and you see at the if this was like a rectangle of a room, you're at the end. You're at like the short end on like one side, and then the long ends go all the way out to the other short end. And at that the opposite side of you, the one that's parallel to the one that you're sort of up against right now, you see the back-turned figure of a familiar person. She seems to be working on something, kind of hunched over. Like, actually, she's sitting on the floor right now, cross-legged. And it looks like she's working on something that you can't see. But as soon as one of these
react to the droid,
yeah, as soon as one of these droids says intruder, she raises one of her spider arms that protrude out of her back, and raises it up in the air as if to like signal to these guys that like she understands. but she keeps doing what she's doing and doesn't face you at all.
Hana will
Though,
take her hand off her gun and just slowly start walking forward.
okay. What is everybody else doing? Are y'all just watching?
I guess. Well, no. Ward has seen this encounter before, so Ward will definitely go out and follow.
Okay.
Yeah, I pull out my shotgun. I'm not gonna. This is gonna get messy.
I guess I'll just keep lookout for anything weird.
Okay. Hana, you approach.
Wait,
Um,
if Vero pulls out a shotgun, I'm just gonna be like, don't shoot first. Let's
Okay,
talk to her first.
first.
Let's see how this goes.
um, Hana, you walk out, and the droids all have their guns pointed at you specifically.
Okay.
Um,
Do
let me
they
get
stop me from walking closer?
They would, yeah. They don't shoot you though. If you don't have your hand on your weapon, then they don't shoot you.
But they do like get in my way.
They do get in your way, yeah. I think as you try to approach closer, the figure in the back, she just says, "You're a little early, you know? I was hoping you'd come a little bit later so I wouldn't have to hurt you."
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you here at all. What are you doing here?
She doesn't turn to face you at all. She's, whatever she's doing, she's apparently very focused on it. Or maybe just avoiding looking at you. But she just says, "We just have plans. And I need to get them done."
Been a while since we've seen each other. Are we not going to speak face to face? Whatever you're working on can wait, can't it?
She turns like a little bit so you like can see like some of her profile, and like her blue hair falls off like her shoulder a little bit. She still doesn't even look at you, even though she's like turning a little bit. And she just says, "Just give it a minute. You're gonna..." She just sighs, and then she like goes back to what she's doing, and then she raises up um a spider leg again, and she's just like, "Boys, keep them busy." And then they raise their guns on you guys and look quite a bit more aggressive.
Rio, you can shoot the droid.
Droids.
Don't shoot her,
Permission to
but
shoot.
shoot the droid.
I look a little disappointed, but I shoot the droids.
You can shoot one droid.
Seems like
Okay. What are you're using a shotgun, right?
yeah, shotgun.
Great. I don't know why I did 4 of these, because now I have to do all of them right now. Ugh.
Just say one of them's malfunctioning and it dies on its own.
No, I won't.
Yes.
I will not do that. But I won't.
We're just saying.
I'll think about it. I thought about it, and I'm gonna say no.
Please.
Okay.
At least you thought
Okay.
about it.
I did think about it. I'll give you that. All right, so you rolled a 3 on shooting one of these droids. Unfortunately, you tried to spray and pray, and you're a little bit too far away for that to work. Most of the bullets end up hitting the floor, I suppose. And in that opportunity, the droid that you tried to fire on very mechanically and very precisely rips around its rifle and shoots a couple at you, I guess, Riel. So you can take, I believe, a level 1 grazed.
2 level 1s, no big deal.
That's a great harm.
Okay, who's next?
I mean, what am I gonna do?
Hack one of them.
hack into the droids?
I mean, they're mechanical.
Hack it and turn it to our side.
Yeah, you can make it fight them. Each
Make
other.
it fight for us.
Sure, why the hell not? Let's
Go crazy, go stupid.
go for it. I will take out my hack rig and attempt to turn these guys to our side. Pray for me. That's all. Don't pray for me. Next doesn't believe in God. Oh
Well,
God.
maybe we should have.
Maybe we
prayed for
should
you.
have.
You know, maybe I should. Yeah. I think I was just yeah. God
You
sent,
gotta believe in the god of luck.
Yeah.
apparently. There must be a god of hackers in this world.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The Byron guys think that the stars
the
are.
patron saint of hackers.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we pray to him next time. You try to hack into this guy, and let's see. It doesn't work. That happens. I'm going to say that you are Nicks are kind of like a focus of a lot of their spray right now, of their fire. So you have to kind
There's
of
so much going on.
like hide behind a wall and like keep yourself protected. So I'm going to drop your effect or your position down to desperate. Because you
Ooh.
can't really see them that well after they have targeted you.
Okay.
Are they all grouped up a bit?
I would say they're like half and half right now. So like 2 are nearby each other and then the other 2 are nearby each
So
other.
if I threw a grenade, would I be able to get
You
If
could
you
get 2
roll
of
a
them in the
6.
2 of
blast.
them?
If you roll a 6. No. Yeah, you could certainly try to do that.
Sure, I'll try to throw a grenade at 2 of them.
I just
And then
realized that
I
these are
have-
all these druid health.
Druid health.
What are all these druids doing here? Where'd you come from? Yeah, I'll throw a grenade at 2 of them, and I have increased effect against machines.
Whack them
Um,
or blow them up, I guess.
Wait, and I will push myself. I don't know. Should I?
It's your choice.
Hashtag war.
Was it 2 to push yourself?
It is 2, yeah.
Okay, I'll hold off on that then.
Oh, for a second I thought that 3-3 was yours. I was like, not again.
So risky. Great. 0 dice. Okay, 5 with great.
554. Sounds good. Okay. Let me look at my cheaty. Okay. Great. Epic. Okay, so you can knock out, I'll say you can do clonk one guy pretty good, and then kind of get the other guy in the blast radius a little bit.
Okay.
What does your grenade look like?
I think this one is like a handheld grenade. And
Aren't they
as she
all?
like sees them, like turn aggressive, I think she'll like back away, do like a backwards somersault a few times, and like throw the grenade as she like stands back up.
Okay. Yeah, you toss it into the air. It lands close to one of them, and then the other one is in the radius a little bit, and it detonates, and I would say probably takes the arm off of one of these droids, and the other one looks like it definitely got a little bit as well.
Two more grenade.
Who next?
Um, ready. Still got two more chemical combinations to use with my bandolier. So Ward will get mixing with some more stuff. And this time we'll try to pop a smoke grenade over
Okay.
them to keep them from being able to track us. Item. Yeah.
5 sounds good. All right. Yeah, your smoke covers the majority of the room. Do you want this to tick their health, or do you want it to maybe give you guys better position or something? I would say it can like give you guys like better position for the next round of stuff they're gonna do.
I'll take better position. Could
Okay.
probably use that.
So everybody who's in risky right now will go to controlled for their next action, and then everybody who's in desperate will go to risky for their next action.
Okay.
So enjoy this. If we're going by a sort of an order or whatever, I think Rio would be next.
Yeah. Rio, Nick, and then Hana again.
Yep. Okay, whip out that sword, Rio.
Do that. Yeah, sword time.
All right.
Who in that? I'll move to controlled.
Yeah, you're in controlled right now. Standard.
Nice.
6, nice. What the fuck happens in controlled? You guys are never in it.
Oh.
You do it. Ah, okay. Well, you do it. You get it. Which droid are you going after right now with your sword?
Whichever one's closest.
Okay.
I just rush up to it and I take a swing at it, try to.
Great. Yeah, I'd say the closest one is probably. I'll go for this one, I guess. Say you take a good chunk out of this guy. Takes him a second to sort of regain its bearings. And I think at this, you can't see because of the smoke bomb, but you can hear a frustrated grunt from the other side of the room, and you hear. I hate that you've never said her name. Say her name yet? Drives me insane. You hear Hannah's rival call out to one of the droids and say, "You take out who's important right now." And she will command one of them with one of her rival actions to shoot at Hannah.
Can't we stop this and talk for a moment?
I'm telling, just God, no. And she's gonna have one of these droids shoot you, and you'll take a level 1 harm, I guess. With the smoke, it's probably difficult for it to find you, so it'll just be a level 1, and I'll have it be grazed again by a bullet.
Should I use armor for this?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do 2 load for armor.
Cool.
I don't think I want less effect right now.
Okay, that brings us to
Me.
you.
Okay, how many droids do we have left on the floor?
There are still all 4.
Okay, cool. So seeing how my excellent hacking skills are not working at the moment, I will decide to say, fuck it, and I will attempt to, I will declare placed explosives and attempt to like blow up part of the floor that these droids are standing on. See
Ooh,
if
I
I
like
can get
that.
like 1 or 2 to just like fall.
Sure. Yeah, you're in risky right now, so go crazy,
Okay.
go stupid.
So that will be a
right?
wreck,
Here's a test.
and I'm gonna push myself, so that's 2 stress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And since I'm pushing myself, I might as well just try and stab them for good measure.
Cool.
Okay, so risky, standard, 1 extra die. God damn it.
No.
Okay.
Rip.
This is fine. An attempt was made. Yeah.
That would have been good though, like blowing out the floor.
Yeah. You probably could have got
It
around
wasn't in
to
the cards today.
It's fine, it's fine. You know, we all have our bad days. Yeah, with a 2. Good thing you are not in desperate at this point. Let's see. Let's see. I think your placed explosives perhaps blow out the floor a little bit too close to you. And it makes it difficult for all of you guys to stand for a second, maybe for the next round of attacks. So I'm going to drop everybody down a position for that.
So back to normal.
So our advantage gets cancelled.
Well, some of you guys have already gone through the advantage. So
Alright.
whoever has gone with controlled already is back down to risky. Therefore, they will be back down to desperate. So I believe 3 of you are going to be in desperate. It makes sense that Ward wouldn't be affected by this because he floats, or they float. So
Hey.
you're still in risky. Or well, after you do your controlled position thing. But you would be down to risky. But everybody else is in desperate right now. And yeah, there's a big gaping hole in front of you guys. Separating you guys.
Who did that?
No. And the droids and also Hana's rival.
Why did your droids try to blow us up? Not cool.
They don't have explosives, Hana.
Things is just like quietly not saying anything.
I just look around like I did not think she would try to blow us up, but okay.
Neither do
Wow,
I. You know how I roll.
your person is kind of messed up. Yeah.
Thank you. I know I am.
Not a compliment.
I'm taking
Why
it
would
as
you-
one. Would you just shut up? Just shut up.
Will you just stop
Hey.
it? Just stop what
No.
you're doing.
No, I can't do that.
Why
Fuck
not?
you.
You're not like required to be doing whatever you're doing, right?
I am actually, thanks.
Let's move on. I don't even know this. I don't even know you.
It should stay that way.
Wow. Fuck you. Hey.
Amazing.
Fuck you.
Hana throws another
Hannah.
grenade.
What's this? What's her name?
Yeah, Hana's like throwing another grenade, and she just turns back to you. Her name's Yua.
I like turn back and well, now I know you. Fuck you.
Well, I've already known your name. So fuck you.
Yeah, what are you doing creeping on my friend?
Because they're your friends.
You don't see me creeping on your friend. Well, I guess I sort of am, but
Oh, someone's a little obsessive.
He just goes silent after that.
Oh wow. I really hit I really hit the sore spot, right? Well,
it's hard to
maybe
see
let's
her,
get
right?
back to destroying the droids, and then I can like keep making fun of her.
It's hard to see her, right? Through like all the smoke and
you haven't done
explosions.
your controlled thing yet, right?
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, it would still be hard to see her.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just throw another grenade at these droids. So controlled. Great. Oh my
4.
god.
Sounds good.
And a success is a success, okay?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you got controlled great, so that you're sitting pretty right now. Okay. With a 4. Okay.
4 controlled. Great.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So you, with great, you can. How do you want to position this grenade? Because you could take out one droid with it and hurt maybe one more, or you could hurt 3 of them all at once. How you
I
feeling?
heard 3 of them. Will that take any of them out?
No.
Yeah, I'll hurt 3 of them.
Okay. You find a spot where they have seemed to gather a little bit because of this gaping hole in the floor now. And throw a grenade right into it, and it seems like it opens up the floor even a little bit more. Where's this
How are
at?
we gonna get across?
Yeah, that's
Ward
you
will
guys
get
gotta decide
across.
that. Yeah.
Ward has to float us all across. Airship
Ward will
drop.
fight the rival for you.
And after you hit one of those, let's see, you still need to suffer a consequence. I will say more of the floor goes out. So the portion of the room that you guys are on is growing significantly smaller and more unstable. And also because you is aggressive and agitated. From Nyx specifically. She's gonna order one of her droids to shoot her. So Nyx, please take for me a level 2 harm shot as one of these droids, as commanded by Yua, fires on you and clips you right in the shoulder. Please and thank you.
Okay. Can I armor that?
If you have armor
For,
left, yeah. It was a level 2.
I haven't used it. Okay, so it will be a level 1 then.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
You can
I'll do
keep that to nicked.
Okay. Love when I forget that I'm muted. Okay.
Great. Awesome. That brings us to Ward.
Okay. Last set of chemicals. Ward will mix up some orange fluid and floating over towards all of these droids. Gotta splash them all. And toss some fire oil.
Sounds good. We love fire oil.
Just burn the building down.
This is fine. Plus 1 item. Hey,
6. Nice.
another 6.
Nice.
Does being at control do anything for?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just putting in new songs. Okay, cool. All right. So you're at. You would be at. Yes, you're at controlled right now because you're still.
Oh yeah, I forgot to change the.
Yeah, but this is fine. And with a 6, you get good shit. You do it. End of story. So you're setting. Yes, you do the thing. Okay, so with your liquid fire, you can take out 2 of these droids. Actually, if you kind of like spray it a little bit, 2 of these droids are already looking pretty rough, and you can just like ignite whatever's left on 2 of these guys and knock them out.
Perfect.
Clonk and clonk. Yeah. Yeah, so there's 1 droid that has been completely untouched, and then 1 that's about at half. And the floor is looking pretty rough for all of you that can stand. So everybody who was previously at risky is now at desperate, which I believe
Maybe
is
we
everybody
should
who can
go
stand.
to like a corner and try to completely destroy the floor.
Should I just keep
Like-
throwing grenades then?
Just grab onto something. They fall. We don't.
That'd be fun.
That could work.
Load this place up.
Okay, whose turn is it? Quote.
It should be Rio.
Okay, we could like climb in gear, like try to attach ourselves to a wall or something and just fucking destroy the floor.
I could use some of my explosives. I go that route.
Yeah, my rival was trying to do something, so it could be good to interrupt that. If we just want to blow the floor up.
I could play some explosives and kaboom.
Go for it. If you desire.
Use my explosives.
You're super quiet, David.
Yeah, you are.
That's weird. Stupid Mike.
There you go. Better now.
Nice.
4-4.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. However, you suffer a serious consequence.
Serious? Oh yeah, we're in desperate.
Because y'all are in desperate. Okay. let's do this. You place some explosives. The floor blows out even further. However, you, in the heat of the moment, you didn't quite register where exactly the floor would be falling from. So you notice as once these explosives go off, there's another big chunk breaks from the floor and falls down to the floor below it, which is probably about 30 feet below. And suddenly this crack in the floor starts to grow bigger and bigger, and it grows closer and closer to your feet, Rio. And then very suddenly you find that you are also falling as the floor crumbles beneath you.
Oh no.
So he fell 30 feet below.
I mean, you can stop yourself from falling.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
All right, what are you gonna do?
Cast Featherfall.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do that, obviously. I'm going to,
You have slow fall because you're a monk. So.
how,
There you go.
how to not die.
Since when?
Is there anything I can, like, grab onto or something?
You're kind of free falling right now. I mean, you could use any of your items, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you have like a grappling
you
hook
have
or
the
anything?
parachute?
Climbing gear. But
Yeah, you can say that you could like shoot a grappling hook up or something and attach yourself to the ceiling.
I hastily pull out a grappling hook because I always carry one of those on me, and I just fire it into the ceiling and pray I don't go splat on the floor.
Okay. Roll me what you think you would do to shoot this gun.
Well, it's nothing that I have actual skill points in.
You can always push yourself, or maybe ask for help, or take a collateral die. Those are fun too.
I'm gonna push myself.
All right.
I'm all out of stress, guys. I cannot help anyone without going
Nice.
straight into trauma.
Okay.
So
All right. Yeah, you got 5. So you can shoot up directly above you, and your grappling hook fires straight into the ceiling and connects with the concrete. And you're hanging there about 15 feet below the floor. However, that is a 5, and you're still in desperate, so that means you suffer a serious
Catastrophic.
consequence again.
oh,
Another
fucking
series.
Lord.
Amazing.
The grappling hook breaks and he falls.
Well, see, it's not a serious now because it'd
fine.
only be 15 feet, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Severe problem, 3 ticks. There's nothing really against you right now. I guess you can take. You'll have to take some serious harm because you're already in desperate. So, sorry. Holy shit. Sorry, I'm just looking at what severe harm is, and it's like you would get a level 3, I guess. I would have to give you a level 3 here.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but you can always resist it if you so desire. Your level 3 harm, as you suffer a serious consequence, is that as you're falling, the weight of yourself and also a little bit of like this crumbling this crumbling structure around you, as your arm catches you with your grappling hook, your shoulder dislocates. So you're hanging there right now, on a dislocated shoulder.
That's not great.
And you'll take a level 3 harm from that. You can resist it if you want to. I don't know if you have armor left, but
No, I do not have armor left. So there goes my shoulder.
Oh boy.
Guys, this might be the end of my piloting days.
don't worry,
Ah,
just don't get a level 2. If you get a level 2, then it's gonna be rough.
We gotta get at it desperate.
Yeah, you would have to.
I mean, that's gonna be difficult.
Anyone in desperate has to roll a 6 to get you guys all out of it.
We need to finish this, get out of here, and spend all our downtime trying to fix ourselves.
Also,
Good.
yes.
Exactly what Sarah wants.
Yes.
Yeah. No advancing any drive clocks today.
Absolutely not. No more pulling shit out of my ass. Well, you have 2 more droids left. One's looking rough. One has been completely untouched. And Yuha still has 2 more rival actions that she can use.
Okay. Someone get the droids or the floor. Whatever.
Can I use a drive thing to get her to stop?
Like, permanently make her stop?
What would
Or
that
like,
take?
well, you would need 2. And we would have to go through that. But I think you can use a drive. You can use 1 drive clock, I think, to like automatically succeed on a roll or something. I'll check.
I have. So of my 3 completed clocks right now, are 2 of these? Is just one of these? I don't know. Are these just like my long-term projects, or were these my drive clocks?
Let me look at those.
So I have the locate you, find out where the kids are, and spying on rival.
I would say find out where the kids are is one of them. You would have to explain to me why locating Yua and or spying on her would how that benefits your drive.
Be considered as a drive clock. Okay. So what could I do with just 1 drive clock?
With just 1, I'm looking it up right now. You could spend 1 drive clock to negate harm or damage of any level, change an action roll or fortune roll to a result of a 6, or give another pilot all 4 benefits on an assist.
Okay.
I'll screenshot it and send it to you
And
guys.
then 2 clocks is change life circumstances of 1 person. It's the only way to permanently defeat a rival.
And if you decide to do that, we will have to go through that.
Permanently defeat that rival.
I don't know. I really just wanted her to stop right now. I don't know. Spend 1 clock to negate any harm or change an action or fortune roll. Could I expend a drive clock and make my sway a 6 to get her to try to call the droids off so we can just talk right now? And we'll stop trying to blow up the floor.
Sure. If you're willing to spend the drive clock to do it.
I mean, how's everyone looking in terms of?
I'm going to die.
6 stress, 2 level 1 harms.
I think Ward's
Okay.
kind of peachy.
Yeah, I'm still fine.
And then Rio has a level 3 harm
And 2 level 1s.
and 2 level 1s.
So any other harm he would get would be a level 2, and then he'd be out.
Oh, okay, that's not good.
I'm telling you, you can resist. You can resist. It's there for a reason.
Did you need armor to resist, or?
No, you,
you just need stress.
roll. Yeah, you roll, and then you just take however much stress.
Oh, okay. Can't Rio have
there are
resisted that
ways-
level 3 harm then?
He could have. He certainly could have, but he took it instead.
Okay. I don't know. Do you all think you can go longer, or?
Can't feel my
I mean, I
fingers.
cannot push myself or help anyone right now because I'm at 6 stress. And if I help anyone, I go out right into max because I have a 3 on everyone's
everyone.
relationship clock right now.
Amazing.
So
I
I
have.
That's
mean,
fine.
maybe
If you trauma out, you don't die. So
we could maybe go another round, but if things go bad another round, then we are out.
just take a collateral. Nothing bad'll happen.
There's one droid at half, and then one we haven't even touched yet.
I have doctor things that I can do to help Rio if need be.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna take a while to take down the drones unless we
Yeah, unless
we
Rolled
focus on the
S6.
whole floor thing. If they just go down, then I don't know. If that takes them out without taking us out in the process,
well, that's questionable.
yeah, I know.
We are desperate too, so. Yeah, I'm gonna expend a drive clock.
Okay. What do you say to her?
I'm just like yelling over like all the explosions, and, like the floor falling apart. I don't want to fight you. That's not what I came here to do. I didn't even know you would be here, but I don't want to fight you. I just want to figure out what the hell's going on. Let's just stop this for a moment.
I think the dust kind of settles for a second, and the smoke dissipates now that there is much more room below. And you can see her still diligently working away at whatever she's working on. I suppose maybe from this point you get a little bit of a glimpse of what exactly it is. Though it's hard to tell because it's foreign technology, but it seems like she's working on some sort of, I don't know if you would know. It looked like something. It's on the floor and it's fairly large.
Laptop shaped.
No, it's orbicular. It's round, like
Orbicular.
spherical.
Orbicular.
Reminiscent, I suppose, in design to your gun.
Oh no.
And I think as you say that, and the droids kind of have their guns pointed at you, she stands. And finally turns around to look you in the eye.
Hana's just sort of like put her guns and like her weapons away, and she's just kind of like holding her hands up a little, like a non-aggressive posture.
She looks at you for a long second, and her mouth like opens and closes, like she's thinking about how she wants to word whatever she's going to say next. I say that because I need to pull up the document. Okay. I think even from a distance, you can tell that, like, you know her enough, I think, to know that she looks terrified right now. Especially after you saying that you don't want to hurt her. And she like lowers one of her spider limbs, signaling for the droids to sort of relax. And she just looks at you and she says, I can't stop. Sorry.
What's stopping you? Why can't you stop?
There are a lot of things at play right now. And here. She brushes her hair away from her ear and turns and points at a chip embedded in her head behind her ear.
Oh, no.
And then just looks at you and puts her hand back down and she says, there are reasons why I can't stop hunting you.
Okay. That's a lot worse than I was thinking. There's a way to get that out, right? There must be some sort of way.
Not any way that I can tell you. They're listening.
Write it down.
They're listening, as in they're tracking my body movements. They will know when I'm writing something down, Hannah.
Okay.
Hey, I told you to wait, but you didn't. Would you just give me 1 second?
Friends are gonna kill you. And I would rather not have that happen.
They won't hurt you. Okay? They will point their guns at you aggressively, but I won't have
What
them
are you
shoot.
trying to do? If it has anything to do, and she'll like, Hana will take out the freaking warp black hole pistol. She's like, if it has anything to do with this, it can't be good.
She like has
Then-
like one hand up, like she's about to say something, but then as you pull it out, she like grips it into a fist, Arthur
Like-
fist.
From what we found in the files, it seems like you're involved with Leap.
I don't know what you want me to say. If
What
you
are you
think I'm
doing
gonna,
here?
if you think I can tell you anything I say to you that will benefit you in any way, my brain will be in chunks. Unless you want that. I wouldn't mind.
Of course, that's not what I want. Never what I've wanted. For you or me or anyone.
Here.
What?
I have been saving this. For maybe when I could have killed all of your friends. And she like reaches into like her jacket and she pulls out like what looks kind of like a goofy supervillain like a detonator button thing with like a red button on it. And she like holds it in her hand and she's like, when I told you to wait, I meant this. And then she pushes it. And the orb behind her, on top of it, is a different mechanism, one that you are actually all probably familiar with. It's an EMP. And this detonates and sends out a wave of electrical energy, farther than the building even. And I don't know how this affects people who have a lot of cybernetics in their body, but it shuts down all technology within the radius. So I think Hannah and Ward would be okay.
Are you trying to
But
kill me?
it's an EMP. It's just gonna shut down your electronics. So if you,
You don't
I
have an
mean, with
electronic heart.
as long as you don't have an electronic heart or an electronic brain, then you'll probably be fine.
I'm just partially blind at the moment. It's no big deal.
All right. Well, as long as you're still conscious. I don't know about Nyx though, because she's a little bit more cybernetic than you are, I think.
A little, just a little.
So, how would an EMP affect your body?
Ooh, I mean, I don't think it's gonna like completely fuck her up. Like the arm's gonna go out. You know, it's
Mhm.
probably just gonna be useless, and like all the enhancements go out. But I don't think she'll, you know, be harmed by them going out.
Oh, she just feels normal.
Yeah.
Horrible. So when this happens, the two of you suffer a little bit. In consequence, Ward and Anna are pretty much okay. All the electronics in the building seem to fizzle out for a second. The lights die, if there were any, and the droids, actually, the two of them, they shut down completely. And the one that was at full health, when it shuts down, it sort of topples over and falls into the hole,
Nice.
falling to pieces. The other
Deserved.
one is barely teetering on. One push and you could push it over pretty easily. And with that, Yua looks up at you, Hana, and she just says, she looks like, for the first time in a while, she actually like looks relieved for a second, and she's like, okay, Hana, I don't have much time. I want to help you, but I can't let them know. Blood Moon is working with Leap. You probably already know this. They're shipping the kids off to that godforsaken planet, and they're going to perform whatever tests on them that are far, far worse than Blood Moon could ever do by themselves. Leap is evil. They're evil. Whatever they say about progress is a lie. Not only are they going to subject those kids to twisted experiments, but they're going to rip them apart, and reality at the very seams. Listen, Hana, I want to help you. I really do, but I can't. And then she like looks over at the EMP and she sees that it starts blinking really, really fast, and all of the lights turn back on, and she has to silence herself. It was like such a short moment, I think, for you, but like in that moment, she looked like that she could say whatever she wanted to. Like maybe that chip was disarmed for a split second, and but once it's armed again, she has to like calm herself and return back to the hostile demeanor that she had before.
As this happens, when she starts talking freely, can Ward try to probe her brain?
What does that
Sure.
mean?
Yeah. Tell me about what probing her brain means.
So obviously she's thinking about all these things that she wants to say. And since Hess can form, well, not form, but communicate telepathically, would it be possible to not necessarily read her mind, but like reach out and see if she'd be willing to, because people, maybe she would be able to mentally speak faster, like just brain vomits thoughts faster than she can speak, and
You like
Um,
link
see
the
if
two of us?
Ward can get like anything extra. besides what she says out loud.
Yeah, I definitely think you can. I think this is like the one way that she could get around this chip. I think initially, like if we were doing like a D&D detect thoughts, like on the surface, right when this happens, well, and initially you get the idea that she's a very pragmatic person, and that she knows exactly what this chip does and knows that it's almost impossible for her to get around unless it's disarmed. You also know that a lot of the thoughts that go through her head are very rationalized, or like she's trying to like rationalize like a lot of the things that have happened to her. Um, would she like realize that you're probing into her mind a little bit? Should I make her do a wisdom save?
Let's see.
Maybe like Ward does a roll to see like how delicately he can do it.
Yeah, maybe you can roll to see whether or not she notices that you're getting in her head.
Okay. 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 What do I even roll for that?
It doesn't have to be like a social stat at all. If you can justify it, of course.
Tinker with mechanisms.
Tinker with brainisms. I mean, you're a doctor. You could do engineer here.
Yes, I can, because I can engineer with yes.
With body
Okay.
parts, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I will engineer. Can I declare an item?
Your tentacle.
Can I help Ward since I'm like keeping her attention?
Yeah, you can spend the stress for that.
I will. So I have 3 ticks with him, so that's 3 stress.
It is.
I will do that.
Okay, and then I will also push myself.
Okay, that's 2 extra whatever you want to do with those 2 things.
That's okay. So I will take. Okay. I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't know if it works the same way in Beam as it does in Blades, but from what I understand, in Blades, if I push it to controlled and I fail my roll, I can re-roll and then bump down from controlled back to risky.
Yes, I think that is how it works here too.
Okay.
The die stuff should be the same, yeah.
I will do controlled and then +1 die.
Okay.
So that way, even if 3 die doesn't get me something, still reroll.
You reroll with 3 die again, or?
Yes, but then it just drops down to risky.
Hmm.
Because the 3rd die is from me pushing, not from your help.
We should do that more than when we have control.
You guys never
Although
help each other.
we don't have control.
Yeah, we don't do
often,
controlled very often. That's the thing. +1. Okay, give me something good.
Or 4.
Or
Can you
4.
reroll
Still
to
a
see if you got a
success,
6?
No, it has to be a fail, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 1, 2, 3. Well,
Here's what.
that's
Hey,
still
you know
something.
what?
Yeah.
This is fun. I like a little bit of a consequence. That's what makes it fun. All right, so you're in control. A little bit of a minor consequence is all good. No problem here. I will say, so you can get in here. inside of her head without her noticing. I think she's very focused on Hana right now. What did you say that you were looking for specifically?
So I'm presuming that as she's trying to say as much as she can to Hana in the limited time that she has, that she's probably thinking about everything that she wants to say. So I'm looking for things that she is specifically not saying so I can get whatever extra additional information that I can that could possibly help. So like
Okay.
she said they're shipping them off to a planet. Is she maybe thinking of the coordinates of that planet or like the name or whatever?
I would presume that's like the planet we found the coordinates for.
Or they're shipping the kids. Is she thinking about where the kids are being shipped from or how they are being shipped? Or any details about these experiments that they're running?
Okay. You get images, I think, in your head through each of these lines. When she says, I don't have much time, Hana, I want to help you, but I can't let them know. You get an image of her strapped to a chair in a dingy little room and someone implanting this chip in her head. And then when she says Blood Moon is working with Leap, they're shipping the kids off to that planet and they're going to perform tests on them that are far worse than Blood Moon has ever done by themselves. You initially get a few more images, I think, of like her younger and seeing her go through intensely rigorous training side by side with Hana. And then it sort of fast forwards to the present, and you get images of the red planet that you saw earlier in that security security image, security cam image. And you see, it doesn't look real to you. There's a certain, I think you can distinguish between memories and imagination. And she's imagining something that she has not witnessed herself. She's imagining these kids being dropped off to this red planet, and she's imagining them going through tests that involve a lot of the technology that you have seen hints of here and there, like in the gun and whatever she has behind her. It's a lot of strange, like, reality warping things. Like, she's imagining that, like, they take these kids and they like implant them with whatever technology is they're using for these guns, and they like turn these kids into black holes, or they turn these kids into wormholes or something, and just like kill them in the most brutal ways you can imagine. But this is, of course, her imagination. And then when she says, this also, I think, goes in tandem with her saying Leap is evil. It's all these same images flashing again and again, but like you get the idea that she is incredibly angry, and she's been angry for a very long time. And none of it is pointed at Hana, the person she has been contracted to kill. It is only anger at the people who have contracted her to kill Hana. And then she says, and then when she says, but they are going to rip apart reality at the very seams, you get an image of the first planet that you saw when you first got the information about someone watching you. This like sort of a Goldilocks world, like an Earth-like planet. And it seems like she knows very little about it, but the emotions that she feels around this planet, she feels deeply terrified of it. But at the same time, there's something there that like it's a foreign haze that sort of like pushes her closer to it. It's you see this haze that makes her want to go closer to it despite the fact that she's horrified of this planet, and you notice that it's a lot like you in that it's a foreign presence in her mind. Not mechanical at all. Actually quite similar to what the tests do. And then when she says, I want to help you, I want to help you, I want to help you, she just thinks about Hana a lot. And truly how she desperately wants to help you guys, but can't in any way because of this chip in her head.
The planet that she's scared of, that's the red planet?
No, it's
No, it's
the
a
one
different
that you
planet.
saw originally. The one. So I think I said a while ago, or maybe it was last session, that the red planet and the planet that you guys initially saw with all of that like decoded information about
Oh,
like
from
do
our
not go
first job.
here, do not go here.
Okay.
That they're in the same system.
Okay, so this red planet and this Earth-like planet are nearby.
Yes, to each other.
Okay.
I think that's what you get out of this.
Okay.
And as her thoughts get like more and more hasty, but then she checks the EMP and its jamming technology sort of ceases, and her demeanor returns, and she grows cold again. And she, like after that, like all she says to Hana is she's like, "I can't help you."
I think Hana's a bit just like taken aback. Like her mouth is like slightly open and she just kind of blinks like a few times and she kind of like shakes her head a little and she's like, okay, and I think she just kind of gets this, like this really steely look in her eyes. She says, I'll find a way to help the kids. I'll save the kids, and I'll find a way to help you. I promise. I'll find a way. Help you and the kids.
She like looks at you, and it's like a knowing look in her eyes. She's taking a little bit of a risk with that, I think. She thinks she is. And she just pulls out her gun and points it at you. And then she says, "Oh, you're not, because I'm going to kill you." And then fires it, but fires it by your feet and doesn't hit you. And then she holsters it, turns around, pushes a couple more buttons on this orb, looks at you guys again and says, "You might want to get out of here real quick." And attempts to jump out the window.
Please tell
Does
me
she
she
have
fails.
like parachute gear?
Yeah, I mean, if you let her jump out the window, she's going to like she does that cool thing where she like falls backwards, right? But like she falls and you don't see her for a couple seconds, and then she raises up because these mechanical like hang glider wings with like a green neon catch her, and she starts gliding away.
So fucking cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think Hana just calls out to her like, "I'll see you again," but in like a reassuring way.
If she hears you, she probably says shit like, um, she says, if I ever do see you again, pray it's not on the battlefield.
Okay. And then she just like floats off. Or do I see what area she's floating off in?
I mean, she floats off to like the north, but you can probably gather that she probably circles a while before she actually goes where she's going.
Yeah. Alright.
But in the meantime, this orb here is
Oh, she left the orb.
oh yeah. She I guess the cat's out of the bag a little bit. She armed it. So
I
Time to
guess
run.
we should get out of here.
yeah, so
We jump out the window.
okay, I was gonna say, yeah, you have 12 ticks to get out.
I think we
It's
have.
a lot of ticks.
But you could also disarm it if you so desire.
Engineering
ticks.
intensifies.
If you want to, or you can just run. That's totally fine too.
Yeah, we have parachutes.
Yeah. So you've got these Rio and someone is gonna need to help Rio, I think, because he has a dislocated shoulder.
Um,
To do it.
nope. I will. Jury rig Rio.
Okay.
Um,
Explain to me what this is. Ah.
so I have doctor, so I can use this on a pilot instead of a vehicle. And it reduces the effect, so it would go from level 3 to level 2, so he wouldn't need help.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Absolutely. You need to spend the stress to do that.
Yes, that will cost 2 stress. But yes, during that entire monologue before she sets off the EMP, Ward has been meticulously attempting to Dr. Rio as much as possible. And then the EMP goes off, and then Ward is like, "Oh no,
Brain.
time to brain jack," and then that happens.
Okay, cool.
So Rio's like kind of fixed, but not fixed enough to reduce harm.
Cool. Okay. Great. So, you guys can probably all jump out the window.
Yeah, there's a parachute item, so.
Right. The only thing is, am I gonna make you roll for it?
No.
Why would you?
Because we
I
will
mean-
all fall to our death. You make us fall.
Roll to see whether or not you actually pull your parachute string. No, I'm not gonna make you do that.
Roll to see if we know how to use parachute.
Yeah, like it's not like on you 24/7. I think you guys can probably jump out the window pretty easily.
Yeah, we can jump out.
And as you leave, you realize now that the city has stopped moving. It has found a new place to drain whatever resources it so desires. It has stopped moving since those sirens went off before, and I suppose you can maybe look back up at the building as you leave, and you can actually see a little bit of the sky as the dust sort of settles. But at the same time, though, when you look up at the building, you expect a bomb to go off, right? An explosion. It does detonate, but it doesn't detonate in a fiery explosion. the upper portion of this building erupts in a massive and horrifying black hole for a second, pulling in portions of surrounding buildings into it until the monstrosity finally dissipates.
Black hole bomb.
It
Oh,
leaves
gee.
a massive gaping absence where there was once structure.
Yes.
It's entirely noiseless as you watch it pull things towards the center, except for, of course, the creaking and snapping of the buildings it tears apart. And as you look up to it, you feel a familiar cold, penetrating chill in the back of your heads. And much like when you shot the gun before, that howl returns, though it is not short and sweet like it was before. This one lingers after the mission for hours. Just a constant noise in the back of your head.
Okay,
like,
but is there an
everyone-
alien?
Oh yeah, there's a massive tentacle monster here.
Does the thing show up?
Kaiju monster.
You, from where you guys are, you can't tell.
Okay.
Right now, it just looks like there's a very clean, round hole in quite a few buildings here.
Okay, so there isn't like a massive monster that appears.
No, you can see.
Okay.
I mean, unless you wanted to go back, you find out.
No,
Not
we'll
now.
find out on the news.
Yeah, you can find out in the news. That's fine.
So this like screaming noise lasts for hours, you said?
Yes. It's not loud or anything, but it lingers, certainly. Kind of like a ringing in your ears. It's noticeable, but it's not loud. But it sounds like a howl instead of a ringing.
Does it sound like a person?
No, more animal, like a wolf.
Hmm. Because I was thinking she said they're like doing things to kids to turn them into like black holes and stuff. So, but if it's like an animal,
That was also her imagination too. She
Oh,
could have
right.
been.
Yeah,
She could
yeah.
have been wildly off the mark. But you can also gather that she has enough knowledge of what Leap does that she might not be too far off, but it might not be exactly what's going on.
But then we did know, or I did learn that there were like lichens going there too. I think like what?
Yeah, plenty of species work for them.
You know, like
For sure.
humans, lichens, skews.
Scoos.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys make it home safely. For sure.
Nice.
One of
Barely.
you has been pretty roughed up a little bit, but hey. You didn't die.
Yeah. Only level 2 harms for some people.
And a level 3 for another.
That's fine.
No big deal.
Okay. I'm just dying.
We have a doctor though, so that turns into a level 2, right?
We can fix you.
Yeah, you just gotta do them clock rolls. But hey, I think that's where we're gonna end here. We'll do downtime next year.
Nice.
So
Next year.
next year. Yeah, we're not playing on the 31st.
Oh, we're not?
No, I think Steph's gonna be busy. I don't
Oh
remember.
yeah, but then she's gonna be here for the first, I think,
Which is the Saturday.
which is TFF. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah. And then it won't even be the first week of January because
It'll be the
I'm
14th is when we
assuming
play.
we'll do Worms
Yep.
On the
that
7th.
first weekend. Yeah.
Another
and then on the
month-long
14th.
break.
Another month.
Hell yeah. This is fine. It'll be a happy birthday to me. I'm gonna DM Beam Saber for you next.
Yeah.
Great.
That was
Man.
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that mission was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That
Cool,
was fun.
awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Enjoyed my black hole
Running.
bomb. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for running.
Yes.
I'm gonna dip. I need food. I
Yes.
hungry.
Go crazy. Yeah.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See
Alright.
ya.
So yeah.
Good
See
night.
ya. Night.
Right.